Okay, so thank you for tuning in. So this is Instagram live video. So I'm going to interview Hiromi today. She is joining here soon, I guess. Let me talk about her first, just a little bit. She is an artist and she has held a lot of art exhibitions in Japan domestically and overseas as well. What she have done recently, like the activity, especially after the COVID pandemic, is very remarkable. So I'm going to ask about that. Okay, here we go. Hey.
What's up? Hello.
So the screen doesn't change that much, but anyway, it's okay. So
But you
thank
look
you
good.
for
Don't worry.
tuning
You
in.
look good.
Pae no iak. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Okay. So first thing first, Hiromi is here, and I describe about you as an artist. But how do you describe yourself? Could you introduce what you have done so far?
Okay. Hi guys. Hello. I am Hiromi, and to answer Junko-san's question, I think I can describe myself as an artist. And also, since I'm working at the university in Japan, I'm a teacher. Also, I have been reading stars, so I'm a woman who reads the stars. I
Right.
guess. Yes.
Yeah.
But mainly artist.
Okay, so you have some aspects as the activities. Okay. So, okay, let's talk about from the beginning. Like I'm going to follow the timeline of your life. So, when you are your background is interesting, isn't it? Because I remember you, your parents. I mean, I'm not parents, or at least your father is a monk. Monk is the right word, right? So, which means very much Japanese. I mean, more than Japanese. It's religious. It's a religion, yes. Anyway, so yeah, maybe that that is the influence, I guess, for you. So, but could you talk about your childhood, like because you must have been having some traits, which led you to the activities what you do right now.
Right. Thank you. Yes, I think it's very interesting that I was born and raised in traditional Japanese Buddhist temple. Like Junko said, my father is a Japanese monk. So I was basically raised by the monk and the monk's family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I grew up in this beautiful traditional Japanese temple, size the family house with beautiful gardens. So, but despite that traditional background, I think my parents raised me like a furi. Like I never was feeling like oh, I raised strictly. Like I could follow my dreams. I could do whatever I wanted to do as a child. So despite my background, that's why I was able to go abroad by myself and spend my 20s there in New York.
Exactly. So which means your father is quite open-minded person, I guess. He allowed you to go to overseas to learn art. Is that right?
Right now, yes, he has changed tremendously. I think he's very open-minded. Now he's like a nearly 70 years old. But when I first told him that I wanted to go to America, oh wow, he was very upset. Like he had no idea of someone who wanted to leave Japan, because to him, like Japan is the heaven. Like, wow, Japan is a wonderful country and you have everything here. Like, why do you want to leave? But so my mother was the one who supported me.
Ah, I see. I see. Oh, that's interesting. So, but
Yeah.
when you are small, did you have some traits like art artist traits?
Well, that's another thing. Not really, though. Well, my grandma was a calligrapher,
Mm-hmm.
so that's very arty. But besides that, I didn't have much. But since I was like 3, 4 years old, when I was able to draw on the back of like a calendar paper, like I was already drawing, depicting some mascot or flowers. So I was very much into drawing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I kind of knew from the small age that I what I wanted to do.
Mm. Right, right, right. So which means when you because maybe you are at the 18 or so, I guess. So
Mhm.
you had some options and you decided to go to overseas, New York, I guess.
I
To
first went to fashion college in Tokyo, but
Mhm,
that's kind of very similar to like fine art because at the fashion college I was drawing,
mhm,
painting. But
yeah.
yeah, I kind of knew I wanted I wanted to do something creative for sure.
Mm,
Mm.
wow, that's beautiful. And then so you had you had been in a rabbit hole, you know, when you are younger. So
Hmm.
you got sick, right? So maybe at the time, yeah, after you came back to Japan, so you had some activities in overseas, and you came back to Japan and got sick, right? So could you just briefly talk about it?
Okay, so I lived in United States, New York City for 10 years. So I spent like most of my 20s there.
Mm-hmm.
So early 30s, I returned to Tokyo, but sort of like a calculating, like, if I restart my life again, like I shouldn't wait until like 40, 50, like I should move back to Japan to plan again, just because at the time I felt that was the right thing. And so I moved back to my parents' house. And so, like I said, my parents' house is a basically Buddhist temple. So
Yeah.
the eyes of the society, the power of society was very strong. And then I thought I could handle because I was already New Yorker at the time. Like I thought I wouldn't care, you know. But unconsciously I was very how can I say, I felt like I had to prove for my parents that I could be professional female. I could marry to the right person. Probably I could give a birth to a child, whatever, whatever. So I think in my life at the time, in early 30, was very different from my life in New York. My life in New
Um,
York was I was just doing whatever I wanted to do, really following my heart.
yeah, of
Mm.
course. It's a diversity. So like
So,
in
and then
yeah.
answering to Junko's question, so early 30s, one day I started to feel really tired, like fatigue. And then sort of like slowly I started to feel like depressed, really,
Mm-hmm.
like, and I knew at the time I had to change my ways. And that was like 2014, and around that time I met Jinko-san's like how can I say, business partner,
Yeah,
Yasuyo-san.
Yasuyo. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So at the time you met Yasuyo. Okay. Before we talk about Yasuyo, it's interesting because you travel in Europe, right? Like some
Hmm.
countries, right? So So that means you are not like only New Yorker, so you have experienced
A lot, actually.
country.
I
Yeah.
have traveled a lot. When I was based in New York, at least twice a year, I was traveling to Europe because, I was very close to European people in many ways. My colleagues were Europeans. Like I used to work for a French company for like 4 years in New
Mm-hmm.
York. Yes, so I have traveled a lot.
You think it impact on your like characteristic or the the sense of view, something like that?
I think so. Even like moving to United States, traveling abroad. Um, Before that, I thought there was a one way of being right.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way to be right person, and
Yeah,
that was not true. Like in New York, they they so many different ways from all
exactly.
over the world, and so you feel like you can be yourself because
You
nobody's
mean like
following.
when you get married as a woman or like something like that, right? When you have a house
Something
and
like
like
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because there's no one-sided, this is the
yeah.
right way.
No standard.
I'm not defending, I'm not saying that the Japanese are thinking this way, but I think, especially nowadays, people are more open-minded.
Hmm.
But before like 10, 20 years ago, I think things were different.
Right. So which means you learn quite a lot of things. You absorbed a lot of things in overseas.
Hmm.
Then you came back to Japan and then you got sick. So then you met Yasuyo-san. So could you talk about like that? Like, after you met Yasuyo, what you have learned from her or what is the impact on your life?
Okay. Um, So I think there are two ways to dream come true. One is you work hard, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You work hard, you make your dream come true. And the second way is you let the universe help you to dream
Yeah.
come true, or you let people around you to help your dream come true. And then I think my old self was like the first way. Like even many New Yorkers, they're so driven by their purpose of life, desires.
Mm.
They,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
including myself. Oh, you work hard, study hard, and so you make your own dream come true. And nothing's wrong with that. I think I'm happy that I have done that. But when I got sick and I met Yasuyo, and she kind of discovered there's a completely opposite way of let the universe help your dream come true. Let the people help you. It's like, what are you talking about at the time? But the second way was exactly what I needed because,
Yeah,
I was burned out. I was so
yeah,
tired
yeah,
of
yeah,
working
yeah,
on
yeah.
my own, right?
And that is the thing you are not able to find in overseas and in Japan as well. So then you find it.
Yeah, I found it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the right moment. You know, and then when I first met the Yasuo, I felt very uncomfortable because that seemed like kind of similar to laziness. Like, what do you mean you don't work hard, right? Like you let other people help you? Like no efforts. But that's what she told me. It was like I felt very uncomfortable. But slowly I realized that what's really behind of her message meaning
Mm-hmm.
is like you take easy to yourself, you know relax, and
Yeah.
being relaxed is the state that you are most powerful, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, and then slowly, I think by hearing her messages, like, I was completely sort of influenced by her. But now, so 2021, thanks to her and the other mentors, I'm hearing this message of let the universe help you. And then I myself believe in that too.
Mm-hmm.
So finally, I am like the hybrid of working hard and let the universe help you and type the combination of those two. Because I believe both are very important. Like
Right.
one of my mentors, Ken Honda, like I
Mm-hmm.
love his messages. Like he's a very logical person, right? Like he
Yeah,
likes
yeah.
to plan and pursue his careers, which is right. But also he's very spiritual, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So having both sides methods and are like a very powerful, and then you can widen your horizon and make so many wishes, like hundreds of wishes come true.
I
Mm.
see.
Mm.
Right.
So again, like talking about Yasuyo, I think I really needed at the time to hear what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, feel content without anything, any materialistic things, just be yourself, feel good about yourself.
Mm,
Mm.
right. Yasuyo is my business partner, and she is telling people about the state of mind. I am saying the state of mind because she's telling the state of mind, like, which means being is important than doing something. So that is true also. So then I help her let non-Japanese people know about her messages overseas. Yeah, as a translator. So yes.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Um, okay, so next question is like, after, I mean, we are in the same situation right now. I mean, after the COVID-19 pandemic, um, it it restricts our activities in a way. We cannot go outside very much. A lot of people got depressed after that. Actually, I was one of them. Uh, Today, I was before we had a brief meeting before, and then before the meeting, I was thinking I'd like to ask you about, because after the pandemic, what you have done is quite remarkable. Like you have an art exhibition in Tokyo, and you started reading stories for people, and you started having sessions with your clients, which is quite nice. And I was thinking maybe she understood Danak, like how to manifest things in her life. So that was the thing I wanted to ask. But in the briefing meeting, you say you got depressed too. um, so yeah, could you talk about it?
Okay. First of all, manifesting the dreams. Let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about it. Um, like we were saying earlier that being is very important. That's what the yes you said is like. Also, I think another way of saying is that what is your intention, right? Like,
Mm.
what is your intention? So, because when you intend, that's the direction you go
Yes,
automatically,
exactly. Yeah.
right? So you have to have a right intention. So
Right.
to have a right intention, you have to have a good being, like you have to relax and so on. um, so over the years, I think I learned how to intend, like, correctly, like, truly from my heart.
Mm-hmm.
um, so that really helped me to find out what I really want to do. First, is art, which I already knew since I was 3 years old, I said earlier.
Yeah.
So that's very powerful. When you're a child, you already know what you want to do. But
Mm-hmm.
most of people cannot stay focused because, life goes on and you can't just, people feel like you can't just follow what you want to do,
Yeah.
naturally. But I think um, just feeling content, like being okay with yourself, allows you to have a right intention, means that like a right focus for your life. And then, so I was able to continue doing art last year, even though it was a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And, the situation's been really difficult. Another thing is that my sign is a Scorpio,
Yes.
water sign, and the Scorpios like to connect with people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I have been working as an lecturer at the university, which
Mm-hmm.
is like one of the ways to connect to people. But
Right.
to me, that was not enough. I was like unconsciously searching for another ways to connect to people, and I think to me, like star reading is a perfect tool
Mm-hmm.
for me
Mm-hmm.
to connect with people,
Oh, I
because
see.
I was already very much interested in stars,
Mm-hmm.
like universe really has the power. I believe in that. Another thing is the Western astrology is such an interesting method, like to find out about people's lives. It really fascinates me. So yeah, and again, like being content, like having right intention, really helped me to end up studying and reading people's stars. Yeah. So even though it's pandemic, we're all under the influence of COVID-19. If you are feeling content being yourself, having right focus for yourself, it's not extremely difficult for you to find out what you are supposed to do, because
Mm-hmm.
things are actually very natural and simple.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Mm.
guess so. Yeah, because things you have done cannot work very much sometimes, because of the COVID. So then, yeah, you may feel depressed or something. So in the briefing meeting, so you talked about you just you are in a rabbit hole and you felt depressed, which
Mm-hmm.
means you are in the darkness. And this is quite inspiring because now a lot of people are in a in a rabbit hole of their own. They then you said, as you said, like having an intention is very important to set the direction you want to go. But a lot of people say, no, there is no intention or there is no direction for me because I'm just waiting, how things happen next or something like. But in a way, we can be a creator of their own life instead of just being a follower. So yeah, could you talk about the darkness and the intention thing?
Okay, yeah, like just Junko said, I was actually in a rabbit hole last year on 2020. I mean, who wasn't, right? Like everybody was depressed. So anyway, to be specific, in Japan, in Tokyo, many sad news have occurred, and I was really depressed because, like I said, I'm a Scorpio and water
Yeah,
sign. Like I get
right.
influenced very easily. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very, sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, when you feel depressed, how long you want to be depressed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people are caught up with their own problems, which even happened like in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, my parents raised me this way. My boyfriend or ex-husband treated me this way, such and such. And we all have that like stories.
Yeah.
But how long you want to be in like darkness?
Right.
It might be 1 week, 1 month, or some people even staying for like 10 years, 15 years and never leave the darkness. And then when I first felt depression in 2014, I knew that was not the place that I wanted to be for entire life.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I needed to get out. And I stayed for quite a long time. I got out. So last year when it happened again, like similar things happened again, I knew this was end. That was end.
Yeah.
And so I kind of was waited patiently, because like illness, when you're ill, you are ill for a few days, few weeks, but eventually you get out, right? You have to
Yeah.
be patient. Yeah. But sometimes, again, like people want to stay in the States forever. So it's
Yeah.
really up to the person.
True.
So around December 22, when the wing era, air era started, I knew I needed to end that period. So
Right.
at that time I was really in the darkness. So I wrote journal. I was doing journaling, feeling. Um, I wrote down all the feelings that I had, some really dark ones, and then I closed the notebook. I slept. Next morning, to me, like I woke up as the same person. But before that, I suffered a really long time. But anyway, so I ended. So, and then another thing I want to say is that the darkness helps you to wake up. When you're in the darkness, you realize what's not important to you and what's important to you. Many
Right.
people are caught up with things that are not so important to you. I was the same, you know. And so whenever I have a darkness, and I always tell myself, oh, it's difficult, it's terrible, but at the same time, it's a lesson, you know, it's a good
Yeah.
reminder. Yeah, you're going to the wrong direction, so come back to your center. So it's a good reminder. So that was December 22nd, and then the year turned 2021. I think thanks to the darkness, I really restart my brand new year of 2021.
Oh, I see.
Mm,
Which means you found something in the darkness.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I already always knew what I like and what I wanted, but you know, it's life. People tend to forget when you're depressed. So it comes and goes and comes and goes. But once you feel content and energetic, you can go back to your own track, following your dream. Again, putting some efforts into the dream.
I see.
Mm.
I remember Yasuyo said, like having emotions are very natural is very natural. Like even if it's negative or positive, there
Mm-hmm.
is no good nor bad. But if you are drained in negative feeling, then it's not easy to manifest things easily. So, but you can utilize the power of negative feelings. For example, for your art, you can express the darkness, which is very beautiful. I think I think you know that. And also this is quite interesting because now a lot of people are in their own rabbit hole, and then at the same time it's important to have the intention. So some people think it's difficult to have any intention in the darkness, then they are just drawn, I think. Yes. But the question can be like, then what do you want? What do you want to do indeed? Or something like that. Is that right?
Yes, but when you're in the rabbit hole, that's not the best time for you to make action
Mm,
yet. So
mm-hmm.
you first have to get your energy back, which means that
To where?
to pursue your dream.
Oh
To
yes,
attract,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You try the energy,
yeah. And
right?
also when you're yeah, you try the energy, because when you're in the darkness, you're confused. So you
Yeah,
may be wanting something you don't want to. You know,
yeah.
you have the influence by SNS or family or society. So you're not yourself yet. So have your energy
Mm-hmm.
back, utilize your energy back, then feel just okay with yourself. Then when you have your energy back, you become like a magnet.
Right, right.
You attract all the good things, and you
Mm-hmm.
attract your true wishes. So
Mm-hmm.
wait for that, you know. Yeah, I'd like to
Mm-hmm.
say that. I wait for that. And once you become a magnet, and surprisingly, you will receive the gifts from unexpected directions, you know. Yeah, another example is when I had the darkest moment on 2014. I thought I couldn't do anything, right? Like I was often in bed, you know, I had
Mm-hmm.
no energy.
Right, right.
And then, but the one day I realized that, oh my God, I have everything, you know. So without any material things, that I was whole, like I was full. And I deeply, from bottom of heart, I realized that I was content 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few months later, I had a wonderful job offer from this university, which I didn't even wish for. That leads to my current job at the university. Isn't that
Right.
interesting? And then I was like, at the time, I was like, I can't do this because I have a low energy and I can't stand in front of people teaching. But I somehow universe knew that I could, right? And I needed this experience of working at university somehow
Mm-hmm.
and teaching students.
Right.
Um, yeah, so going back to university sending gift story, that when you're 100% content, you know, you receive gifts
Mm-hmm.
unexpectedly. So
Mm-hmm.
um, going back to Junko's first question, like if people cannot see what they want to do, get the energy back. You know, utilize your energy first, and then, which means like cherish yourself first,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then that's the way to start manifesting dreams.
Mm. So cherishing yourself means like, more exactly like saying some like positive words to yourself. I mean, for example, try to love yourself, like I love you, or you are doing good, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Verbalize it, that's good, but also write down. I
Mm-hmm.
think the words are very strong. And also, if you feel like needing professional help, you can definitely, you know, um, have somebody's help, like Yasuyo is one of the examples, you know, because people have different methods and ideas, you
Mm.
know, and then you have no idea what other people can give it to you, right?
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, that's why I experienced very recently, like, I was I was quite I was in the rabbit hole again. Then but at the same time, like, I felt the energy is very, very heavy, it's just like there is some load on my shoulders. Then I so then it was difficult to get out of it because I'm used to doing it. But I started to like talk to myself, because um just subconsciously we communicate with ourselves too, like, but
Mm-hmm.
instead of just blaming myself, which I did in the past a lot, I started to say, like, I love you, and you've done a lot of things, like some inspiring things, or like uplifting things. Then I felt so light with time. And so, like feeling some negative feelings are just okay. It's just you can just accept the fact as well. just accept, be generous to you. That is the process, I believe.
Right. When you have a negative feeling, hear the voice, like really, it's okay to have a negative thought. So you hear the negative thoughts, but also you should realize is that how long you want to do that, and also why you're doing that, you know. And then also you should realize that you've been really tough on yourself. So what you just said, finding very nice, kind words and send it towards yourself is extremely important. I often forget doing that. So I try to do that to myself even now, you know. Yeah, like even like last week, I was telling myself, you have worked so hard, you know, doing multiple things. It's like amazing what you're doing, you know, you such a hardworking person. I love you, you know, just don't work too hard. I've been telling myself that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Because in many cases, we tend to ignore negative feelings, and I did that too. So, but there is obviously light inside the darkness. So because negative feelings are the power as well. So then okay, so at last I want to talk about the name wind era. I've heard the word wind era. We call it's the new era after the ground era. So, but I have never heard this concept in overseas when I talk to non-Japanese people. So maybe because, maybe I was not into the spiritual world or so, but have you heard that?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
maybe
So
because I'm into Western astrology, and
yeah, sure.
astrologists
Right.
talk about the wing
I
era,
see.
Earth era,
Right.
so that's why.
Okay, I see. So, could you just explain about that a little bit? What is ground era and what is the wind era?
Okay. So like I said before, last year, December 22, that was the day the air era, another word maybe wind era, started. And before the start, it was Earth era, Chino Jidai, for over 200 years. So people are really into materialistic things, something that we can hold on to physically. So people wanted make money, build the construction, buy
Right.
clothings and so on. People wanted
Right.
things. But I
Yeah, it was
think
a time
air
of
era is
it was it was a time of what was the name? Like industrial revolution. What is it?
in 19th
産業革命? Is
century,
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
industrial revolution, yeah. So that's like a great example, right? People are really driven for that energy. Versus air era is like, I think, completely sort of opposite. Like people are more having focus on the things that you cannot see. I think internet is one thing. Like we can't
Right.
feel internet, but we're using internet constantly, daily. We're believing in this power, and also talking about the feelings and the energy and the earth. We're believing in paying more attention to human beings' feelings versus materialistic things. So that's a huge difference. And I think now it's like a shifting time. We just started this air era, and some people say that it takes about like 10 years to completely shift to air era. So I think this 5 to 10 years is extremely important. It's also the universe's question, which a style you want to stick to. Do you still want to do the air Do you still want to do Earth era style, or you want to start doing the new air era style?
Right. Right.
And I believe um, to change yourself, reborn, and stick with air era style is like right things to do, because we human beings are glowing.
Yeah, exactly. For me personally, I take astrology as like an weather forecast. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not weather exactly. It's like a time forecast. Like the stream of the time. Then I think it's better to know about it just briefly or so, because if you stick to the old methods in the new energy in the new era, so it's harder than ever. The previous method cannot work, and then it would burden you more and more. So it's just better to know the stream. And it's now we are having the new time phase. Then how, what kind of things we can do in the new type of time phase. So because it's much just easier. And when I was young, it was okay to just work hard alone, but it doesn't work anymore. Yeah, sorry.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, that really wakes your mind up, means that what you used to believe in, like, oh, making money is the first priority, or, how can I say, building a house is first priority, but maybe it's not anymore today, right? People's focus are different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
So also in the new era, wind era, it said that it's much more easier to do your personal activities, like you do, like you are an artist and you are instructor in university, and you also have sessions with client using astrology, and then so that's why I planned on just like doing this live video, or just started doing something new, like as an interviewer or as an kotoba artist. Kotoba means words.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
because I love languages.
mhm.
So doesn't mean I feel confident 100%, but I think it's fun. It's just fun.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we cannot wait for 100% confident. That's going to take a long time, right? So I
Mm,
think that's what people tend to do. So like, oh, I'm not ready yet, so I want to wait for a couple more years. But it's too late. You're missing the chance.
mm-hmm.
So yeah. So you're also ignoring your intention. Like, you want to do it now, do it, right?
Yeah.
So missing the timing means that not respecting your intention, not respecting your wish. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I think sometimes your intention is smarter than your brain. Your soul is smarter than your brain, because the brain wants to calculate the things,
Mm-hmm.
but your heart, your soul, they don't do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, that's another thing that I try to be very careful. Am I calculating, or am I saying from my soul? I try to ask myself very often.
Mm.
Mm,
Wow.
yeah,
Beautiful.
thank you. So talking about art, I think art is going to be uh, something that people have more focus on.
Mm.
Don't you think? So,
Yeah,
thanks to
I
the
believe.
air era, because art is not just something that oh, it's just pretty, so I want to put it against the wall. Not like that. The art tend to have a message itself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And it has the energy itself. So I think people are more and more drawn towards that the message and the energy. So I think the art has more potential from now on.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. In a way, I, at least personally, I have repressed my creativity and sensitivity as well, because it's kind of useless when I work in as an as a regular employee or something. It might be just like an assumption, wrong assumption, but anyhow, I did. But this is the time I think we all can.
You know, I don't really think so, though. I think, Junko, what you were doing at the company is super creative.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because you're using language is so creative
Mm,
and then instinctive. You know, you have to have quick action constantly. Yeah, I think it's so artistic and so creative, and it has this huge potential. And I believe you'll be using your skill for really long time in a bigger field.
right.
Mm.
Wow, thank you so much. That is so
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Well, anyway, so it was really nice. Thank you for, just joining this live video. So
Thank you for having me.
so going to upload this audio to my podcast, also YouTube video. So thank you for like tuning in here. And then if you are interested in Hiromi's art, or like astrology or so on, so you can just follow her Instagram account. So I think I will just describe it on the show note. Also, if you want to manifest what you want in your life, so and then you want to learn the state of art, you can check the YouTube channel which I put in my profile. So then you can learn a lot of things from the content as well.
Can
So
I just give a feedback on your and Yasuyo's work?
sure.
I have been watching quite often, honestly, and it's very good. And it has given us like so many wonderful tips. And, I think it's amazing what you guys are doing. So thank you so much.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, that is nice. So yeah, it was wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So yeah, maybe that's it for today. So thank you for tuning in, you guys, and see you next time.
See you
Bye.
next time. Bye bye.